Same type of cancer that killed Senator Ted Kennedy, Beau Biden, the son of former Vice President Joe Biden, and also Scott Muntean, father of WUSA 9 reporter Pete Muntean. Pete, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your story. It's a personal story, and we need to hear stories like this.
I think I want people to understand what glioblastoma really is. You know, it's a really grisly type of cancer. My dad was diagnosed in '98. Doctors then called this an aggressive tumor, not a death sentence. But even then, most people only lived about a year. My dad was 42. He had 2 surgeries, radiation, chemo. My mom, also a pilot, so she flew him to clinical trials, and that helped slow the tumor, but you can't really stop it, Deborah. It's just, it is really hard to reverse the tide on glioblastoma.
Now, this was a while ago. Now we're talking about 15, 16 years later or so. What are the treatment options now? Have they changed?
Well, it's changed a lot. I mean, it's a very new landscape. There's immunotherapy, there's gene therapy, stimulating the immune system, stimulating the gene system, identifying genes that are causing this and then altering them. Earlier today, I talked with Dr. Henry Friedman. This was pretty cool because he actually treated my dad at Duke University. He was in a clinical trial there. Friedman is not using drugs that are approved for brain cancer. In fact, he's even using polio, the disease that killed people for centuries, injected into the tumor to attack it directly. It's a really simple theory: aggressive tumor, aggressive treatment.
I think something that is pivotal is the combination of your will to be successful in treating this disease at both the patient and the institutional level.
Friedman says this is kind of like entering a sporting arena. You have to want to win. And doctors think that McCain can do this, but here's the rub. This is often called an orphan disease. Not that it orphans anyone, but that only 13,000 people die from this every year, so there's not a lot of attention on this. It's about 1/10 of lung cancer that are killed by lung cancer, so not a lot of people, not a lot of money, not a lot of research. And Deborah, doctors say that money is key, and they hope that high-profile cases like this really change the landscape in getting more attention and more money into researching glioblastoma and the causes and the cure.
And I know you've shared a little bit on Facebook, too. You wrote a little bit about this.
We did a Facebook Live earlier. I also wrote a column about this on WUSA9.com. Just wanted to share my personal story. You know, when this bubbles up, this happens every so often. You know, we talked about Ted Kennedy and Beau Biden. When this happens, you think about what these guys, well, I think about what these men are going through, you know, esteemed Americans, and it's hard. It's really unrelenting, though. It's far and wide, doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter what age. This happens to a select few of people, and they need some more research to try and find a cure.
And of course, everyone that it affects so many more because of your families.
Right.
Thank you so much for sharing your story,
No problem.
Pete.
Thanks.
We'll read your Facebook post.